Everyone, I would like to welcome everyone to a great education program put on by the Association of Golf Merchandisers, and would love to welcome everybody to this platform. You guys have three really incredible speakers. Just to make sure that you're in the right space, we're going to be talking about how to get your A game strategy for golf tournaments going on today. We all know that the golf tournament season is in full swing, and there are a lot of different strategies on how to make the event better specifically for your clients. And that's really what this program is going to be about, is trying to set up some systems in behind the event in order to make it go smoother and ultimately make you more money. We really want to help bring a greater experience from these three vendors that we have here, how to really make the tournaments have more attendees, have a better experience, and eventually have a better experience so they come back year after year to your golf course. We have three speakers today. Our first one that's going to be in and out of the gate is with the Golf Tournament Association of America. His name is Phil Immordino. He's the president. He's also an author of How to Produce a Successful Golf Tournament, and has given 500 seminars, both nationally and internationally, and is about as resident of an expert in the golf tournament field as you could possibly ever want to. He has a client list that is longer than your arm that he works with, and we're very blessed to have him here to discuss all of his expertise on best practices in the golf tournament field. We also have Ben Wolf. Benjamin is the Senior Product Manager for Golf Genius software, which many of the attendees on this probably are somewhat familiar with, but he is going to unlock some of the secrets specific to golf tournaments that's going to make some best practices. They are one of the most innovative and trusted supplier of software solutions in the golf tournament field that there is in golf today, and we're excited to have him on board. And last but certainly not least, we have Megan Butcher. She is the CEO and president and co-founder of the RepSpark system. And again, anyone who has been in the golf business even a little bit fully recognizes what a powerhouse back-end ordering platform that they are. They are the leading B2B e-commerce platform connecting brands and buyers, but now also connecting the buyers to the tournament connectors too, and she's going to lead us into that. And so we have an exciting seminar here set up for you. And without further delay, I think I will hand the reins over to Phil. Phil, thank you for joining us today.
Ken, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for taking the time out today. Obviously, you know that tournaments are a passion of mine. We've been doing this for a long time, and we know how much your customer is putting into their tournament. They're spending months putting it together. They're got tons of volunteers because they have one simple mission, and that is to have a successful golf tournament. So over the years, we've been trying to help them and work with them and give them some ideas. And we hear their praises, we hear their concerns, we hear their objections and what goes right and what goes wrong. So my job here today is to bring some of that information to you. So I want you to kind of look at us as your customer and having a frank conversation on how you can help them, how you can help your customer produce a better golf tournament. So we got some things we want to share with you. So I appreciate your time. So let me pull up my screen. We're going to, first of all, just excited that we could be on the platform with Golf Genius and RepSpark because great programs, and so we're honored to be a part of them. So let's get into just some ideas on the golf tournament industry. What does that look like, and why we should have a strategy, and what that strategy should look like. So first of all, I just want to give you all an overview. What does the golf tournament industry look like? Now, keep in mind, we really focus on the 98% of tournaments out there that are not on TV, that are not PGA and LPGA. So first of all, I want to let you know that there's over 500,000 golf outings throughout the United States every year. Now, this is all types of outings. everything from charity events to competition, mini competitions, men's groups, women's groups, as well as entertaining type events where corporations bring out their customers. We found that the average golf course will host 50 events a year. Now, obviously, there's some courses that have a lot more than that, but there's some courses that do, one a month, if that. So every golf course does some type of golf outing. 80% of these outings seem to be charity and fundraising. So that could be a school, a church, a ministry, a nonprofit charity. So all types of folks are trying to raise money through this platform. The 10% is entertainment. So that's corporations and associations that are bringing out customers and maybe members, and even bigger charities will just entertain by bringing out their major donors. And then we have another 10% that are competition, men's groups, women's groups, mini tours, and so forth. The average event throughout the United States has about 72 players. Now, I know you all know that's about half sold out. And trust me, every tournament in the country wants to sell out. So there's one area that we could all be helping our customers do a better job. They're spending about $35 per player on merchandise, which is very, very important to know that they're going to spend that money somewhere. They're also spending another $25 per player on services. Now, that would be the intangibles, the hole-in-one insurance, the weather insurance, signage, and so forth. So they're buying that somewhere, somehow, by somebody. The average charity, believe it or not, only nets after expenses only about $8,000. Now, you're all familiar with tournaments that are making 100, 200, 300,000, but there's a lot of tournaments that make 1,000, that break even, that lose money. So we need to be aware of all those. But basically what that tells me is they need help. Most of these charities who are only raising 8,000 need a lot of help. So once we understand the industry, then the big question is for you, because I know how busy you are. I know that you've got a lot on your plate during the season. You got golfers coming and going, you've got events, you've got all types of things going on. But I'm here to encourage you to have a strategy. It's so important that you have a plan. How are you going to go after tournaments? A lot of golf courses, what they do is they just let the tournaments come. If they find them, great. If not, no big deal. But I want to encourage you to have a strategy. Why should you take time to have a strategy? One, bottom line, it means more money in your pocket if you have a strategy to go out and get tournaments. Two, you're going to get more outings. If you like outings and you want more of them, you got to have a strategy. They don't happen by accident. Outings lead to more golfers. So if your ultimate goal is more golfers, then outings can help you do that, because every outing brings golfers and those golfers can become yours. This is a way to sell more merchandise. There's a lot of money to be made in selling merchandise, and I think it's being sold to your customers by somebody. So we might as well take advantage of that. If you have a strategy, it's a lot less work to try to get these tournaments than if you don't have a strategy and it happens by accident. And then it brings repeat business. I believe, and I won't go into all the details, but every single customer that you have is worth at least $50,000, especially if they're coming back year after year after year. They're worth $50,000. So it is worth having a strategy. Strategies are so important. And I see a lot of tournaments or a lot of golf courses will have a business plan or have a strategy to go out and get golfers to go out and promote their property, but rarely do I see a business plan strictly for tournaments. So I want to encourage you to think about having a complete tournament business plan, a business plan that just focus on how are you going to get tournaments. And it needs to be detailed, it needs to be specific. For example, how many outings do we really want to have? Do you want to have 50? Do you want to have 350? How many golfers do we want in each outing? How many tournaments do we want in our database? How many phone calls do we have to make every week to get the tournaments and reach the goals that we want to reach? Very important, they have a detailed business plan to go out and get tournaments. You also want to discuss in that plan what type of tournaments that you want. You can't just be all things to all people. So I'm going to encourage you to think about, let's get specific. Let's target market, whether that's charity events, whether that's corporate events, whether that's association, maybe convention business, maybe it's resort play, but whatever it is, have a plan to really target market and go after that specific group. Others will come, but you know how good you are in what kind of niche you cover, and just stay within that and get after those types of businesses. All right, you also need to know, what are you going to offer them? What type of tournament packages are best? You know, if we just say we got golf and we got lunch, okay, that's what you're going to get. But if you have a detailed tournament packages, maybe a low end, middle of the road, high end, then these clients have options, and they may get excited about that higher end package. So put some real key packages together. Then I think in this plan, you need to know, where are you going to find these tournaments? There's a whole bunch of ways to find tournaments. We publish over 25 different ways to find customers. So you've got to identify, what are you going to do to go out and find them? Again, they're just not going to happen by accident. And then you've got to be able to sell them. I know sometimes we get afraid of that word selling because we think it's pushy and persistent, but it doesn't have to be. Selling simply means you're getting excited about what you offer, and you're just sharing that excitement with other people. And if you're excited about what you're doing, your customers are going to get excited. So learn the steps on how to effectively sell, how to open the sell, how to qualify the customer, how to overcome objections, and then how to ask for the order. Very, very important. And then a strategy on, how are you going to keep them coming back? How are you going to keep those customers coming back year after year after year? Listen, if you don't make them happy that first year, you may never see them again. The only way to make them that $50,000 customer is to keep them back, keep them coming back year after year after year. So I encourage you to have a complete business plan with details, your goals, who you're going to go after, and how do you sell them, and what do you offer them. Then the question is, how do the big boys do it? How do the very successful golf courses do it? Obviously, you either you are, or you're aware of other golf courses that are killing it, booking lots of tournaments and tons of golfers and selling out the field every time and selling lots of merchandise. How do they do it? Do you want to be like them, or are you content with where you're at? So let's take a quick look at who the other folks are. What are the successful golf courses doing to be successful? Number one, they know their competition. They know what their competition charges. They know what their competition offers in range of services. They know what merchandise and what the pricing is. They know their competition in depth. So one thing we could all be doing is learning about our competition. What do they do and what do they offer? Number two is they have a specific detailed database. Very, very important. A database is your gold. That's your foundation. I recommend you have at least 1,000 tournament planners, potential tournaments, potential customers in your database, so that you can reach out to them in a timely manner. You can stay in touch with them. You can communicate with them. So a database is key. Next, you have need a plan to reach out to them, not wait for them to come to you, not just sit by the phone and hope that they find you on Google search, and maybe we'll call you and see if you have a good price and a date available. You have to have a plan to reach out. How do you go after that business? How do you go after the customers that are all being, hosting their tournaments somewhere else? So have a plan to go out, and don't wait for them to come. They offer something special, not just a round of golf and a bag lunch, something special. So think about, what is it special about your facility that you can offer to your potential customers? Because they want something special. They don't want the run-of-the-mill golf course. So think about what's special. The big folks, what they do is a VIP day. They have a VIP education day. That's one day a year that golf courses invite their past customers and potential future customers out to see their property. They give them some instruction on how to put on a golf tournament. I saw one last fall that booked over $200,000 just because they had a VIP day, and they booked $200,000 worth of new business. They also sell merchandise. They have an aggressive plan to sell merchandise and services. That doesn't happen by accident, gang. You have to bring it up. You have to mention it. I'm convinced that you need a website and software that'll help you not only help your customer, but help them be aware of what's available to them and regarding merchandise and services, and then keep them coming back by follow-up, staying in touch, communicating with them throughout the year. So these are just a few ways that that some of the big golf courses do it. We're here to help. If you need any help whatsoever, the GTAA is here. We have your customers in our database, so we can share those with you. We have planning tools. If you need those, we can help you do the VIP day. And we also have a sales training program. So we just appreciate your time. We appreciate what you're doing to help tournaments. Just because you're on this call tells us that you're actually concerned about your customers, and that's what we're all about. So good luck with your season, and I'm looking forward to hear from Golf Genius and RepSpark and how they're going to help also with this tournaments.
Thanks, Phil. I think, Ken, you're good if I just start going. So my name's Ben Wolf. As was mentioned, I am with Golf Genius. Very likely you've either used it in the past or are currently using our tournament management software. We do, have other software as well, our golf shop software as well as our coach software, but we're going to focus on our tournament management software today. As Ken mentioned, I'm the senior product manager for Golf Genius. So my job for tournament management is to take all of our customer feedback and decide what we're doing next, what we're building. So we're very driven by the feedback we get from our customers. So if you've been using our software and you have any feedback, feel free to reach out either to me or your account manager. We are more than glad to hear that. A quick background on myself. I am a PGA professional. I've worked at public and private, and some of the things Phil was saying resonated with me back in my public course days, doing 125 events a year as the tournament coordinator, and wishing I had tools like Golf Genius and RepSpark and things like that. So doing it back then on mail merges and Word docs and things. So we'll get into a little bit about what tournament management is first. We do manage over 34 million rounds of golf in the past 12 months on our software. And that includes 860,000 different events, leagues, golf trips, things like that. And our core customer is obviously the golf courses and the clubs around the world. But we also work with the national federations as well as the state golf associations who use our software to run regional and national competitions as well. So the big thing for Golf Genius TM Club Premium is to save you time, to help you increase your revenue, but also deliver an exceptional golfer experience. Lots of courses and lots of golf clubs, they can do a traditional golf tournament experience where they come out and you're handed a scorecard and you have a cart sign and you go play golf. What TM Club Premium really tries to do is give you tools to take that experience to the next level and leave those players talking about your event and your golf course. So some of the benefits of TM Club Premium I'm going to touch on here. We're going to talk about the live scoring. We'll talk about the TV leaderboards, but one big one I want to focus on is online registration with payment processing. And we'll also talk about those custom websites. So the custom website is a core piece of TM. Every event you create in TM has a website that's ready to go. So you can come into this website and start customizing it. And this is where, this is your player facing content. So we have, all of your event details, tee times, results, the ability to have photo galleries, embed videos, everything you would need to create a custom website. Now what we really try to focus on with clubs that host a lot of outings is you have the ability to upsell as a higher end package custom websites, because as Phil said, your customers are already getting this service somewhere else. They have a website, they have registration. This is something you can offer them. So the websites are fully customizable, not just by you, but you can actually get your tournament coordinators in there as well. So they can upload the logos, they can change the colors, they can change the content on the pages. It's very easy to do, and we can certainly help you understand how to do that and how to easily get your tournament coordinators in there. The big piece of the website that I always push on people is registration. Like I said, from running 125 events a year, trying to track down the spreadsheet was always a nightmare. There were always changes the day before. And so with online registration, you are having the players register straight into the event that you're going to be running it out of. So there's no tracking down spreadsheets. You collect all the information you need. With the registration, you decide the fields that you want to collect, along with your tournament coordinator. And so you can collect shirt size if you need it. You can collect, which lunch option would you like, things like that. And you can have the players register themselves, their whole team, however you want to set it up. It's very flexible. This really eliminates any need for any other type of registration. We talk to courses all the time that are still taking paper registrations for an event, or call the golf shop to sign up. There's really no need for that when this great tool is available. This is the websites are all mobile friendly, so they can be accessed from anywhere. And the websites can actually, most of the pages on the website can be embedded in your own website if you choose to do that. Things like the results, the tee sheet, and even registration. We have a new offering in the last year that is a simplified event registration concept called Golf Hub. And this is available. I've been talking about our TM Club premium software. This is actually available in our TM Club, the base version, as well. So the Golf Hub is the ability to create a very nice looking event flyer for your event in a very simple page to set that up, and to have basic registration capabilities as well. So once you publish the Golf Hub page, you can link directly to it. You can publish that link on your website, send it out in emails, or have your tournament coordinator do the same. The player then is able to come to this very nice, simple look and do their registration. They are able to see other events that might be at your facility, if that's the route you want to go. And they're able to do the registration and choose their packages as well. Now, part of our TM Club Premium offering that is premium registration. This is what we were talking about with all the different custom fields and everything. And this is the payment part of that. So we encourage tournament coordinators to not just set it up so that you can register the player, but set up registration so that the packages offered also include the title sponsor, a whole sponsor, things like that. You can see here there are different packages you can set up, and you can just decide how much those cost, how many golfers they include. And so all of the registration, including all of your sponsor registration and payments and everything, can be run through this. All of the credit card processing can be done in a couple different ways. We typically have an integration with Stripe.com, which is a worldwide payment processor, extremely secure. You can connect your own Stripe account so that the money comes to the club first, and then you distribute it, take the money off the invoice. Or if the nonprofit or customer has their own Stripe account, you can set that up as well, so the money goes straight to them. So real quick recap, our custom websites, they all flow together. You have the custom website, which can be upsell. You also have registration, which can be another upsell, as well as payment processing. We see lots of our customers that bundle several of these features together and create those packages like Phil was talking about, a lower end, which may be just printed materials, a medium end, which is maybe just live scoring, and then a high-end tournament package, which includes website, registration, payment processing, all that. So a little bit about live scoring. So it's a free mobile app that the players download, and you on the back end, or your tournament coordinator, are able to customize the coloring, the logos, and many other things here I'll touch on in a second. So the player simply logs in with this 6-character ID that you see in the phone screenshot here. That ID is found on their scorecard. When they log in, they choose who they are so that we know who's entering the scores for this pairing group. And then they are able to enter the scores. So this is a pretty typical flow. Either you've likely either used it in the past or set it up in the past, and it's very easy for the players to use. Now, one of the things that people often overlook in the mobile app is the ability to create what we call mobile pages. So something that we try to get our customers to understand is you can create a mobile page for the whole sponsors. So a whole sponsor usually gets the sign that sits over by the corner of the tee box and nobody pays any mind to, and they walk by it. The people in the mobile app who are doing the live scoring get a pop-up screen in between each hole, or the holes you set up, with the content that you've created. So this can be your whole sponsors. This could be a title sponsor, whatever you want it to be. And very often we see one before the player's 18th hole talking about where to turn in your scorecard and things like that, and you throw the title sponsor logo on there. So lots of sponsorship branding opportunities, starting here with the mobile app. The mobile app also has the live results. So as the players are earning scores on the course, they are able to swipe to the right and see the leaderboard for all of the competitions that are going on. So other leaderboards, again, sponsor content, are TV leaderboards and what we call TV shows. These update automatically. You can put them up on any TV. It's very simple to, we have an integration with the Amazon TV Fire Sticks. They're like $30. You plug it in the back of the TV and connect it to the Wi-Fi. You type in a 6-digit code and the leaderboard comes up. Very simple, stays up to date, runs all day. TV shows is a newer feature we have that allows for split screen, either a leaderboard on the left and the right, 2 different competitions, or you can see in this example here, they're using a video. So a YouTube video is running on the right and a leaderboard on the left. You can do photo galleries that'll scroll through. One of the best practices we see is, a lot of bigger events will have a photographer, midday or 3/4 through the day, have the photographer come in and do a photo dump, put it into a library that then scrolls on the TV, and players are seeing that as they come back in. I want to talk a little bit about some of these less work, more fun, more revenues. So we try to automate the tasks for you. A lot of the time consuming tasks, we try to automate that, along with registration and websites and things. We have lots of integrations, and I'm going to touch on a couple of those here in a minute, but we integrate with many of the club systems you're already using to run your day-to-day. Replace registration, we talked about that. Eliminate the manual scoreboards with live scoring and TV leaderboards. And I didn't touch on this, but automated text and email notifications as well that can go out to all the players. More fun for the players. People love seeing their name up on the TV. They really do. And it is a lot more fun for the players to enter their scores live, see that live leaderboard, and come into the clubhouse and see it up on the screen. So players love it, as well as the websites, knowing they have one location that they can access all the information for the event. So more revenue. This is where a lot of these premium features come in that you can bundle into your different packages. So offering credit card processing as an upgrade is certainly a significant value add, as well as enhancing the sponsor impact. Those TV leaderboards I showed you, the website, all the printed materials, putting logos and branding on that for the sponsors. One best practice we've seen is highlighting silent auction items or additional sponsorship levels on those custom websites, selling custom pages in the mobile app or banners in the mobile app, and increasing participation with online registration. The last thing I want to talk about, and we're gonna hear much more about this from Megan, is one of our most recent integrations is with RepSpark and their event microsites. We not only are you managing your event here in tournament management, but that's where your player list is, that's where your player communication is. And one of the things we're doing with RepSpark now is with their microsite, they are able to pull that event roster in so that the microsite knows who should be able to choose their tournament prizes. So I'll turn that over to Megan and she can talk a lot more about that.
Thank you so much for having us. Here at RepSpark, we work with multiple brands and numerous clubs and golf courses to support what Phil alluded to during his time here, better golf tournaments. So what is a microsite and what does it do? Let's just start there to really understand what RepSpark is providing and linking into Golf Genius with and everything like that. So a microsite is the capability to make available a selection of product from a brand partner during your event, whether it be a charity event, a private event, a member guest event, whatever it might be, that can be shopped by the people who are going to be attending that event. So it could be corporate members, it could be charity members. Again, it can be individuals who are playing in that traditional type member guest tournament, but it's really working with the brand or a manufacturer to make these products available pre-event. So you can think about a pre-event shopping experience that you could blast out through a platform like Golf Genius or put up on their website creator, their Golf Hub. And you could go ahead and put a link so that the members who are playing in that tournament or joining that event can shop pre-event. You can also use that during an event. So you could work with a manufacturer, brand manufacturer, to make available product during an event. And we'll talk through all these different ways as well. Or you could do it post-event. So we do see a lot of golf shops, whether again, public or private, who have that captive audience that just came to an event, and they will offer a pop-up shop post-event to offer some sort of merchandise, whether it's an extension of what was offered pre and during the event, or completely new products for the players or the members who came to that event to continue shopping post-event. So you can actually have these available pre, during, and post-event. Just so you know, RepSpark or through the RepSpark platform, over $40 million last year were put through the platform, which just, I think we had 5 or 6 power brands using the RepSpark microsites. So over $40 million wholesale merchandise were put through that platform during, I think we had 4 or 5 months of it actually open and driving these events. Obviously, in the winter months, it's more holiday pop-up shops and things like that. But during event season, over $40 million for a couple of brands utilizing these were put through. So it's a great way to help your pro shops and your brands connect to support these events and again, drive more revenue. Different ways that we do support them. Again, private tournaments, that's a real easy one, right? You have members coming to play in a tournament. You can work with a brand to put together a shopping experience where they're not actually paying for the product. So maybe you're going to work with the brand, you have a dollar amount in mind. Phil said, at least $35 are spent on merchandise. A lot of times for some of these higher end tournaments, we see, $300, $500, $100 being spent on merchandise. And it's really great to let these buyers have a branded shopping experience. We call them buyers, but they're really not. They're your members, but they're able to now see products from a brand and have this shopping experience where, they don't just show up and there's a bag sitting on the golf cart, but they actually can shop before the experience and get exposure maybe to a brand that you're trying out in your golf shop. Maybe they get exposure to a product that you don't necessarily stock, but want to offer in tandem with this brand or manufacturer to these players. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute, but I know my husband happens to play in some of these and he absolutely loves it. He gets to go in, I watched him actually shop using our microsites lots of times, which is really fun. But he gets to see a subset of product from Johnny O or Holderness and Bourne or Grayson, and he gets to go in and he picks from a selection of gear maybe that selection is based on points. So you can offer a microsite that is worth 30 points. So again, these players don't necessarily know the cost of each product. You can do it based on kind of a driven selection or a driven assortment. For example, you show a bunch of polos or quarter zips, shorts, belts, and they get to pick one polo from a selection of 5, or they get to pick 2 polos and a pair of shorts. You can have different packages. So you can have, a casual package or a dressy package, and each of those have different limits. So you can get really, really unique. And as a brand, it's a really great way, even if these players are only getting, a polo, not only, but a polo, a quarter zip, and something else, but you can really have that opportunity to show them a great product assortment that may not actually be stocked at that club. And it's a really great way for public courses as well to work with these brands to, again, let these players see an extension of products. Maybe they're only selecting a polo, but they get to see a bunch of other product. We also see in a lot of public courses working with the manufacturers maybe the event members are going to be paying for the product, but they can actually pay for that product using a credit card, just kind of how Ben said, connecting that Stripe account. But on checkout, these players or corporate members can actually check out product and buy product maybe at a discounted rate. So, maybe for that event, it's not free product for the person who's playing. It may be discounted for the time of the event or post-event as well. So we see these being used for lots and lots of different ways. Charity tournaments, whether they're prizes and giveaways, same thing, just allowing that those players or event members to come in and have this really great shopping experience. And again, with corporate events and charity events, we're seeing brands use these a lot for kind of a post event. Hey, thank you so much for shopping. We're working with, in this event, Holderness and Bourne to offer you, some extended product at a discounted price for this amount of time for the next 2 weeks. So think about it more than actually just during that event, but there's a really great way to extend what you might be offering in your shop post event as well. And again, for us, it's really all about that experience, giving those players, giving that unique experience, that unique product offering that you may not always have in your shop, and extending the capability for people to shop pre, post, and during an event. I'm going to hop in now so you can kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about. But this is an event that's been set up with Holderness and Bourne. It can be very branded for whatever that experience might be, a high-end private tournament, a public event, a charity event, a corporate event. This can all be branded for that experience that you're providing. And then you put together what we call packages. So you put together a sub-selection of products. Again, maybe it's something that you have in the shop already that you're extending for these players and members to buy online, or maybe it's a whole new selection of products that you worked closely with that brand with to be able to put together this curated experience. But as a user, so I'm coming in right now as a player, and a member guest, as a member, as that guest, as a corporate member playing in that tournament. And I get a URL to this unique microsite. Again, whether that's using the golf shop product and blasting it out, or letting the members know that it's available, embedding that in Golf Hub, or just sending that out on your own marketing material. But now I can come in and I can go ahead and see these products. I can see whether I'm filtering the products by product category here. I can see polo shirts, pullovers. I know with this one that I get to spend 70 points. So again, I'm going to show you the management screen of this in a second. But I know as a player or a member of this event that I can spend 70 points on really whatever I want here. And I get to go to town. I don't have to pay for anything. I can look at these products. I can add them to my cart. I can continue shopping this experience. From there, I can go to checkout. I can have a code. So there's 2 different ways to do this. You can require a code, or if you link in with the Golf Genius product, which I'll show you in a minute how to do that, it actually will do that member validation. And we will actually look at the member roster for that tournament when you link it to a Golf Genius tournament. And you don't even have to worry that there's rogue members or rogue players actually using this. We will do that tournament roster check and make sure only the proper people are using or ordering from the site. This one I happen to have a code, so I can go ahead, I can put that microsite code. You can allow drop ship or not. So for post-event merchandise, you can set the microsite up to drop ship directly to that player. We also see this a lot for maybe bigger merchandise, a golf bag, something like that, where you don't want them all shipped to your course. So you can actually extend that to be a drop ship or not for those traditional member guest type events where you want that package sitting on their golf cart when they show up. If that's the experience you're curating, you can actually set it up so it's all sent to your clubhouse as a big bulk order or as individual orders. You would work with the brand to decide how to set that up, receive it, and then again, just create that amazing experience for that member to say, gosh, I want to make sure that I play in this event next year. Not only was it a great event hosted by all the Golf Genius, I saw myself up on the wall, I got to have amazing food, but I got to my golf cart and there was this package from, you know, Holderness and Bourne or Grayson or all the Summit golf brands use it. Johnny Oates sitting there on my golf cart. That was amazing. I definitely want to spend the money and play in that next year. Essentially, with this one, I would go ahead, I would put in my address, save and continue, and I would go ahead and place my order here to be able to shop. Once that member or the player shops it, they'll get a confirmation that it's been submitted. And then they will also get a confirmation sent to their email with exactly what they purchased, etc. Now, if you want to extend this post-event and accept a credit card, you would work with the brand to do that as well. But you can actually connect your own Stripe account as well and be able to take the credit cards as those members check out during one of these events. One sec, I'm just going to move this. What the setup looks like, and this could be, oh my gosh, a whole hour in itself, but you can set these up to be really specific. And brands, if we have brands and manufacturers on this call as well, it's really great to work with your clubs to really understand what they're trying to do at these during this event and during this experience. Do they want to offer multiple packages? Do they only want to offer stuff that they, you know, have in stock? Is it a charity event, a corporate event? Do you want to do it based on points? Do you want to do it based on dollars? Do you want to, again, more have a driven shopping experience where they get to pick 2 polos out of a selection of 10? So many different ways to set this up. We also see brands and facilities working together to allow members to order over the points. So maybe you allow 30 points, which is worth $100 or something like that. But you're going to let them order. If they want to order $1,000 worth, great. The remainder just goes on the member number. And guess what? That facility just made money on somebody coming to the tournament as well as the brand. So great ways to be using this to extend the life of the tournament to, again, pre-shopping, post-shopping, during shopping. And Ben, hearing about your app, I'm thinking of 100 ways we can actually integrate with that as well. But you can go ahead, you can set up the tournaments, you can drag and drop assets in, really easy to do, set up the packages with those brands. And then here, if you are going to connect to Golf Genius, of course, I picked one that didn't. I will show you one in a second, but there's actually a link here. I will get to that in a moment where you can go ahead and integrate with the Golf Genius platform. I am going to go back to our community real quick and hop into one that has the Golf Genius integrated, so you guys could see where to do that and what that might look like. So here in the event setup, which we were just looking at, right here, you're going to be able to see the tournament, Golf Genius tournament ID. And again, there's tons of help desk areas how to do this. We will send that out as a follow-up. But when you create a tournament in the Golf Genius tournament management software, you can generate an ID in there and copy and paste that right into this Golf Genius tournament management area. And then again, as somebody checks out and starts placing orders, it will do that cross check to make sure with the member roster to make sure that that's actually a player in the tournament that you want them to be ordering, and that you actually, can count down and see who's actually placed those orders. There's always a capability to look in the user order area to see who has placed an order or who hasn't. Again, if this is a pop-up shop or a post-event shop that you just want to offer out, you could always check by an order submission code or by having someone put their member number in. So very flexible, tons of different ways to be using this platform to facilitate events. And for our pro shops and clubs that are interested in who's doing these microsites, who's making it easier for me to manage and extend my events, you can go to app.repspark.com. It will take you right into our community here. If you already are part of RepSpark, you can easily go into the community by clicking that top community button. And then you can click here in the microsite area. Any brand that is hosting microsites with RepSpark, you'll see this little logo that says microsites, or you can just hop into this section of the community, click microsites, and you'll see everybody that now has microsites turned on. So Harleston's, True Linkware, Straight Down, Olakai, Johnny O, Sticks, Peter Millar. I mean, those are all now using the microsites through RepSpark. I'm not sure that Peter Millar is, I'm sorry, I think we're testing that. But right now, again, Holderness and Bourne, Harleston's, True Linkswear, Sticks Golf. It just makes it really easy for you now to extend that tournament and really provide that great shopping experience for the players, the corporate members, for public courses, the members for charity events. Everybody who's going to be at that tournament can now access this great shopping experience.
Thank you, Megan, very much. That's fantastic. If you have not used the RepSpark platform, both for ordering and for tournaments, I would definitely encourage you to do that. Now is the time for questions. If anyone on the Zoom call would like to ask any of our three guests any questions, please throw them in the chat. I think while that's happening, I might throw out, Phil had some great early points on recruitment, and there's a gentleman in the golf business named Andrew Wood, who's a big marketer, and he always jokes that he who has the biggest list wins. And we have a couple recruitment strategies I'll throw out there while we're waiting for questions. One is a system that we have on our homepage of our websites for each one of our golf courses called Donation Valet. And we have, as all golf courses do, we get hit up almost daily for donations. And so we funnel them all through this Donation Valet app on our website. And that allows us to approve or not approve the donation request. But more importantly, it builds a wild big database for us to be able to go pitch golf tournaments to that list at the end of the year, because many of those events either A, don't have golf tournaments, or are golf tournaments at other golf courses. And so that becomes a route for us. And then the other thing is each community has things called mail houses that will allow you to purchase, and they're very reasonable, different regional databases for snail mail for different groups. And so with our tournament group, we will purchase databases of area nonprofits or optimist groups or Rotary clubs and actually send very targeted mailings off to them. And very rarely do we not get 2, 3, 4, 5% leads back that are interested in learning more about tournaments out there. And we use one in Sacramento called Moe's, and usually it's anywhere from 5 to 10 cents a lead. So it's exceptionally reasonable. So again, build those lists, just like Phil said. So we'll dive in here. I saw a chat. One of the questions from Lisa was, can you allow multiple microsites per tournament?
I can take this. Yes, you can. I mean, it would be up to you to work with any of the brands that you have, and it's really up to the brands to participate in the tournaments along with the facilities. So the facilities, the pro shops, we see some that will offer a couple different ones, or a lot of times what we see them used for as well is the brands will actually be on site during some of these events and tournaments, and have like a mobile pop-up shop type area, and then they'll have the same product that they're on site with in the microsite, and they'll have the iPads there, and then the members can be purchasing again a certain number of product during the event. So we see that a lot. But it doesn't matter to RepSpark how many are going at a time. Ben, I'm not sure if you just unmuted yourself. Maybe you have something to add.
I was just going to say the same thing. You can tie the same Golf Genius TM event to multiple microsites. So it would be pulling from the same roster and validating that the correct people are purchasing.
Great. I'll throw a question out for Phil here. Phil, in one of our pre-meetings, we had discussed kind of tournament showcases where tournament directors kind of bring in all of their tournament leads in at a single time. Maybe talk through maybe some best practices of what you've seen out there for this group.
Well, we call it a VIP and education day. And I personally believe that every golf course in the country should have some version of this. And it's a simple process where one day is dedicated to not only past customers, but current customers and potential customers. Typically what it looks like is in the morning, first of all, you invite every tournament in the area, whether they're booked with you or not. Invite them to a free day. It's kind of like a fam trip that a hotel would do, where you get to come listen to some information about how to produce a golf tournament, have a lunch, and then play golf if you choose. So typically what happens is it's 9 to noon is the seminar, noon to 1 is lunch, and then some folks go out and play golf afterwards. This allows the golf course to not only train and teach a bunch of tournaments at the same time, but more importantly, get exposure to their facility. And then to others, say thank you for booking your tournament with us. Thank you for coming out. We're here. We're going to treat you to a lunch. We're going to treat you to some free golf, just to say thank you. So I think it works out well. You got to remember that in the charity tournament world, half the people don't even play golf. And so it's not like they'll all come out and play golf, because they're fundraising executives, they're development directors, they're people who are more concerned about the nonprofit. So they'll come out for the educational piece, but not play golf. And then you've got some others who already have their tournament down. They'll come out for the golf, but not the education part. So it's a full day of allowing people to see your property, see what you offer, and build relationships. And it works well for golf courses, and I've seen it very successful.
Beautiful. Thank you, Phil. I have a friend who operates Wildcat Golf Club outside of Houston, and they generate $1 million in business by doing exactly what you just outlined there in a single day, with bookings of F&B and tee prizes and all that kind of stuff. It can be really, really successful. Well, I do not see any other questions in the chat at the moment, so I would just like to reiterate our dear thanks with Phil, Ben, and Megan for your time today. If you guys would like to get in contact with them, we will have additional information available both through the AGM office and on this video when it gets mailed back out. But we appreciate everybody's time and look forward to a great tournament season for everybody out there.